Today, I'm sharing my indoor cycling setup. I'll take you through my gear, my training tips, and setup hacks that make long indoor rides as productive as possible. Indoor cycling is essential for a triathlete, especially during the winter time, since where I am in the winter, not only is it cold outside, it gets really rainy, and it gets rainy for a few days, where sometimes it can be unsafe to cycle outside, unless you're Tom Pidcock riding a mountain bike while it's raining. This is also a safe way to get your hard and fast intervals inside, because sometimes you're pushing a lot of power on the bike, which means more speed. And if you're around cars, traffic lights, stop signs, it can be a little tricky to complete your workouts. So let's dive into my garage and take a look at my indoor cycling setup. I currently have my triathlon bike, the Diamond Mogul, on the trainer. I don't have my road bike because when I have my TT setup, I can actually be in my aerodynamic position here and focus on my TT effort, which is a big chunk of the triathlon race that I'm doing for half Ironman and Ironman distances. Attached to this, I have a smart trainer. It's a Ceres S3, which I would take the wheel off and hook it up to this trainer. This way I can connect the smart trainer to the Zwift app, which I have on my iPad, to let it control the resistance. In the back, I also have an adapter because for my bike, it does not have a down tube below the saddle. This is more to stabilize the bike and not ruin anything, but for most bikes, there will be this down tube and you won't need this adapter, and you can go ahead and take your wheel off, hook it up to the trainer, and then you'll be good to go. There are so many workouts that can be done with the smart trainer. You can spin easy, stay in zone 2, do some really hard workout, climb up out to Zwift. So that's why I really like Zwift. It gives you a way to connect with other people while riding. So all the people you see in the app, they're on their bike inside their home, their garage, riding as well. There's other apps like Trainer Road, Whoosh, but I'm only familiar with the Zwift app and I don't plan on changing anytime soon. But if you're looking to get into indoor cycling with your road or triathlon bike, you don't have to get a smart trainer at first. You can get other trainer where you keep your wheel on your bike and the resistance is you shifting the gears or how much contact point your rear wheel is having with back of that resistance. So that's the cheaper option other than the smart trainers out there. This Ceres actually makes so much noise that I was cycling in my apartment for quite a while and the neighbors were complaining because it does sound like a jet engine, like a literal jet engine whenever I'm pushing 200 plus watts. I was supposed to get a Wahoo kicker for another smart trainer and I want to get rid of this one, but I haven't gotten that yet. I still have to deal with all this noise when I'm pushing watts, especially when I'm going like 300, 400 watts. This thing gets really loud, but it is what it is and it's helping me get stronger on the bike. Aside from the smart trainer, here are some accessories that I have that make the indoor riding a little bit more enjoyable. First, it's a fan. Especially if you're having hard intervals, you're gonna be sweating a lot. And even in the winter, you wanna have like a light fan if it's too cold outside, but something to get the air flowing because it's gonna be hot, it's gonna be humid, and you're gonna be sweating a lot. Right now, for winter, I place mine on the floor a little bit far back because it tends to get very cold in the mornings when I start riding. But in the summer, I have it right directly in front of me on the table ahead of me because it's hot and I really need that airflow directly towards my face, which helped me get through the hard intervals for the workout. I have a yoga mat right underneath my bike. This is just for sweat. If I start sweating, it'll just drip on the mat and it can be very easy to clean. I have my iPad right in front of me with a charger. Sometimes I would ride 5-6 hours and there would be no way that this iPad could hold up for that long. So definitely need a charging cable nearby and to plug it in. Currently in this garage, it is not attached to my apartment. So I do have to use mobile data and personal hotspot turned on my phone. And then my iPad will connect to my personal hotspot. So I am using a lot of data because I don't want to ride in my apartment and have this jet engine going on and my neighbors complaining again. When I was riding for 2 hours and I was streaming Kona, the World Championship, on my phone for my entertainment, I took up 5+ gigabytes just from data alone from that 2-hour ride. So just to get an idea of how much mobile data I use, that was 5 gigabytes for 2 hours of using the Zwift app and streaming the Ironman World Championships on my phone. I do have unlimited data on my phone, but it slows down after 20 gigabytes. So I kind of reach that limit pretty often now when I'm cycling here in the garage. But no biggie, having fun with it, and that counts. This is a time where I go on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, listen to music, watch YouTube videos, watch race videos, something to keep me entertained. And I do have an iPhone stand holder I put right under my iPad so that I can watch the videos without having my phone just on the table. One day I'd like to have a TV set up so I can actually watch something big, have a bigger screen, but for now this is good enough. And finally, lots of towels. I have a bunch of towels here, small and big, so it can collect the sweat. I just put it on my handlebar on the bike and wipe my face with it from time to time so it doesn't get all over my bike, and I can keep this area kind of clean. These are the tools I have to help manage my data. First one is heart rate monitor. I have the Garmin Heart Rate Monitor Plus. This connects to my Zwift app so I can see my real-time heart rate. I can see it when it spikes up when I'm having a hard effort. I can see it very low. That means I'm chilling out and not taking it too hard. So one of the crucial tools that I have. Aside from the smart trainer that outputs the power and reads it to Zwift, I also have my power pedals, which also records power, that sometimes I would connect to my watch and put it as an indoor ride. I wish Zwift has a button of some sort that can lap your interval, so like lap, do an easy interval and do a lap button, see how much power average you're holding for like 1-2 minutes or specific intervals, and then lap again, so you kind of know your average heart rate and average power, average speed for that specific intervals, and you can do it lap yourself. But the only way to do this is to create a workout beforehand, do the workout, and then once you finish you can go back to the data and look at all your data from each of the laps. But if you're free riding, you're not able to do that, and that's what I've been doing most of these days, just free riding, because I prefer that instead of the erg mode. I've done my fair shares of erg mode workouts for years now, and I feel like for me, it's better to push power manually than have the trainer automatically set the power for you. But everyone's different, that's just my preference. To keep track of all the intervals, that's when I use my watch and do my lap, and kind of record, take notes on my phone, what's my average watts for each of these intervals, and then I would actually discard the activity on my watch and just put in my training peaks and my Strava notes for those power. That's pretty much my setup. It's in this small space in the garage with no Wi-Fi, but I do have service that I use for my phone, and it's good enough. It allows me to push myself and gives me this mental boost of grinding out all these workouts, hard workouts, short and long, inside this garage and becoming a better athlete. I would do this in my apartment, but as I said earlier, the smart trainer is a little bit too loud for that, so I had to move all my setup here into the garage, which is in a separate place for my apartment. You do want to mix up your workouts. You don't want to be at a point where you're just riding every day, just picking something and just riding. But I would recommend some structure, like some intervals, like 5 by 5 minutes going hard with 2 minutes rest. One ride you do 1 minute fast, 1 minute easy, 1 minute fast, 1 minute easy, do that 10 times. One ride you just go out and find a world, complete that Zwift route, earn that badge. So use a variety to help your indoor riding, because most people in the world actually see us cycling indoors and we're not going anywhere, and we're doing this for long hours at a time, which they think we're crazy, which I think we are just a little bit. But that's what we love to do, push ourselves and get better both as an athlete and as a person. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about my current setup and any suggestions you think I can make to kind of make my indoor riding a little bit more pleasant. I hope you learned something so you can crush your indoor cycling workout. Have a great day and happy training.